I'm Nathaniel,
I'm Michael.
and today we are here with Corey. Corey, introduce yourself, let them know who you are and what you do.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Kareem. I am a content creator. I'm a digital marketer, also known as a digital strategist. And I am here on the show today, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Nice to have you, Kareem. Like, to start, so what got you inspired to do this, and how did you get started?
Well, like I said, my background is as a digital strategist. I'm always thinking of kind of cool and cheeky ways to come up with content. I don't produce a lot, but when I have these kind of creative moments, these creative flashes, I try to think of very cool ways to have that released out on social media, whether it be on YouTube or Instagram. But in regards to the video that you're talking about, which is It's Never Too Late, that's actually inspired by a lot of different things. So, which is like a lot of my content. So in this case, that video was inspired by my own personal thoughts and things that I'm going through. It's also inspired by things that I know my friends are going through and things I also hear about that's happening on social media. That's usually how a lot of my videos come together. It's a little bit of myself, a little bit of stuff that I know people that I know are going through, and a little bit of the conversations that are happening online.
Okay. So with one of your posts, I went through your post and I saw you had something about asking 5 people what they don't like about you.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of self-awareness to do something
100%.
like that. So what made you do that, and why is that important to you?
I'm extremely self-aware, man. Okay, so I'll tell you guys something. I turned 36 several months ago, and on my 36th birthday, I went skydiving. I don't know if you guys have ever been, but it was on my bucket list. And for me, when I turned 36, I like through the entire 2020, I've kind of been on this mental wave where I'm willing to do whatever it takes to become the best version of myself. And in order to do that, you got to ask yourself some tough questions. And there are things that you will understand about yourself inherently, but there are also things that you won't. So for example, there's this thing called I think it's called the Bahari or Johari window. Forgive me, someone can Google it, you'll find it. Basically, it says everyone has 4 cells. There's stuff about yourself that you know that other people also know. There's stuff about yourself that you know that other people don't know. There's stuff that other people know about you or can see about you, but that you can't recognize about yourself. And there's things that you've yet to discover about yourself that other people have also yet to discover about you. So in order to kind of fill those gaps, I ask people that are close to me and their different relationships. Some people, I asked one person that only sees me, once a year. And there's people that see me every single day. So I'm really getting a nice collective base of people that know me on different levels to get like the best answer. So the reason for that is I'm on this journey of becoming the best version of myself. And sometimes you need to just ask those tough questions.
Yeah, that's great. Because I'm sure a lot of people don't have that quality of wanting to hear that. But that's true. Yeah. I was also going through your YouTube. I just watched your recent YouTube video. I think it was you're giving quotes.
Yeah.
The one that stuck out to me was I think it was, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's most green, where it's greener where you water it the most.
Yeah.
It's I feel like that's a saying you hear a lot, especially from leaving a job. For example, people always say the grass is always green on the other side. So explain in your words, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we always feel, or we have the inclination that it's going to be better over there. And sometimes that is the case. Sometimes there is going to be a better opportunity. So whether you're talking about a job, whether you're talking about a relationship, regardless of the circumstance, sometimes it is better. But more often than not, the grass is greener where you water it most, meaning you put in what you get in. So if you want your situation to be better, you got to put in the work. to be better. Now, granted, like I just said, sometimes the situation isn't the right situation for you to be in the first place. So you have to make a move, right? So it's really a case-by-case situation. But I like to believe that for the majority of us, we have what we need. We just haven't utilized the proper skill set yet. So we don't know how to manifest with what we have. We have the tools, we just haven't figured out how to master them yet, right? So it feels like you have to go somewhere else because you saw it on someone else's IG handle and, you know, they live over here or they work at this company and you're like, I got to work over there.
Yeah.
But it might not necessarily be the case. You just got to work on developing you. And then if it is the case, then you make the move.
Yeah, very true, very true.
So I see you have a new project coming.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you what you mean by success comes with massive failure.
That's a great question. So it's actually a ripoff from a quote. I think it was, I want to say maybe Thomas Edison. I should know this since I have it tattooed on my arm, but it was a long time ago. And I'll give you guys the backstory behind that. So as I mentioned, I'm 36. And when I was 26, I moved back into the country to Canada. I was living in New York. That's where I got my education and I was working out there. And at that point in my time, I was at the lowest point in my life because I had my life all planned out for me. Like I was working on Wall Street at this ad sales company, and then I was going to move on to this ad agency. I was going to do like copy and writing for like big brands like Nike. I had this whole vision plan for me. I was building up a network out there. Then my work visa expired. So I had to come home, and I had a girlfriend out there in New Jersey, and then trying to do the long distance thing. And then next thing you know, I went from, you know, living in Brooklyn and having a view of the Empire State Building to ending up in my mom's basement and having to start my life all over again. So I was at the bottom. And so I saw this quote. It says, the key to success is massive failure. And so I'm like, well, I'm failing at everything right now. So I got to be headed in the right direction. So that's what that quote kind of means to me. It means that there's people that are afraid to try because they're afraid to fail. And you talk to anybody that's, regardless if they're at the top of the game, they're on the journey, they're somewhere in between, or they're just starting out, failure is a part of the process. And that's something I have to continually remind myself, that failure is just a part of the process. And in many ways, it really just serves as a lesson. Any successful athlete will tell you they learn more from losing than they do from winning. Business owners will tell you the same thing. So it's a way of kind of flipping your idea of failure. Stop seeing it as necessarily a bad thing and seeing it as kind of an asset, like the things you can learn from that, the person that you become from that. Because all the development comes from pain. It's just like, I don't know if you guys work out and go to the gym, but you can't get gains without resistance. It's the same thing, right? And so pain operates and serves in the same way. Whenever something doesn't go your way, it's an opportunity for you to grow. And so that's kind of the essence of the quote, and that's what it means to me.
I love that, because like that's something like I think everybody needs to learn, like here, because it's something everyone goes through, right? There's always a point in your life you hit rock bottom, and you might think it's over, but that's only like a pit stop in your journey, right? And that's
100%
something you can recover from. But
100%.
are you talking about you said you lived in New York for a bit, so like how did you like it, like compared to like Canada? Like how would you compare them?
Oh, well, I mean, there's pros and cons, man. I mean, for me, what's crazy, so I'll give you guys a backstory. So I went to Brooklyn College, the City University of New York. And when I was in high school, it was always a dream of mine to move to New York. Now, in fairness, as a kid, I'd often be shipped to the States in the summertime because that's where a majority of my family lives. Outside of that, in Jamaica, my dad lives in the UK. And so every summer I'd either be in like Boston or Ohio or New York. And so I already had like an affinity going back and forth. But it was always a dream of mine to go to school in New York. I really don't know why, but I was a communications major. So like broadcast, television, radio, marketing, that was all a part of my major. And so obviously New York being the mecca of advertising, media, it made sense. But I always just had a draw towards New York. And so for me, I loved it. Some of my best years were in New York City. I have some amazing friends that are now like family to me. I try to go back at least once a year, at the very least twice a year. And when I come back, people are like, yo, when are you coming home? And so it really operates as my second home. So for me, it was a great experience. It is different from Toronto or the GTA, but there's a lot of similarities. Like both cities are very diverse, multicultural, but New York is a very direct. It's a hustle and bustle city. But I also think they have a huge advantage. When I came there, I was hungry AF, man. I was like, give you an example. You know, I grew up in Mississauga, and at 20 years old, I became a rep for Def Jam, which means that anytime they were releasing new material for an artist, they would call up the college reps. You would go to Def Jam. They would load you up with like posters, all this, you know, street merch, CDs, demos, and you take it back to the school, and you would be like that plug for the school. And so I was that guy from my school, and I would just remember being at 20 years old. I was sitting in the boardroom in Def Jam, and I was like, I tried to envision this is probably where Jay sits right here, and I was like, who would ever believe this kid from Mississauga sitting in this? And then I seen Russell just walk by, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. And so for me, that fired me up because I'm like, yo, out here in Toronto, you don't have that access.
Yeah.
And in New York, there's Sony, there's NBC, there's CBS. You got everything there. And so what I saw for me as an outsider, I was like, man, I don't know how you guys just don't want to hop on everything because it's all right here. It's a train ride away. Everyone is a train ride away. And so for me, I was just super fired up. I was hungry, and I was like a dog out there.
That's city of dreams.
Yeah, 100%. It's competitive, but I mean, if you got the hustle and you're willing to put in the work, man, like anything can happen. Like I used to, before I worked at the media firm on Wall Street, I worked at the Apple store. So I graduated in 2008, which was like the worst possible time to graduate. You guys might be too young to understand that, but that's when the whole economy crashed. And so I got a job at the Apple store as a specialist. And what was crazy is my store, there was like 600 employees in that one store. And a lot of these people this was just like their default because the economy was so bad. And fast forward today, like half the people I work with are either like successful artists or actors, well-paid photographers, like doing amazing, amazing things. And so New York, to your point, it is a city of dreams if you can really put in that work, man.
Yeah. I wanted to, you may have touched on it before, but we wanted to ask you about your Satori moment. So the meaning of Satori is a sudden enlightenment or an epiphany. And do you feel you've had a Satori moment along your journey?
I feel like I've had several. So I'll tell you the most recent one. I like that. I like how you pivot towards that. So I meditate, and last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, when I meditated, I got this kind of word that was like, it was something like to the effect that you don't understand how powerful your mind is. Cause I'm a creative by nature, and my dreams are very vivid. They're very real. And so the word that I got was like, you don't know how powerful your mind is. And because you don't understand how to harness your power, you can destroy yourself. And the key to understanding how to harness your power is to focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. And that's kind of like, that's my most recent Satori moment, is only focusing on what I control and letting go of things that I can't control. Having an understanding of what I can control, and just everything else, I just got to let that be. And that was probably my most recent moment of where I was enlightened.
I like that. I just learned from that. That's very true.
Yeah, and I mean, we all fall victim to it.
Yeah.
Letting go is tough. Yeah, I mean, it's something that happens to us all. And I've also recently learned as well is letting go is a skill. You might have saw that post. That's something I recently learned myself. Is just it's actually a skill set to learn how to let go of things, not even just things, people as well. Could be in a relationship that you're in, right? It could be anything, really.
Yeah.
So that's a skill.
Okay. To wrap it up, we have 2 questions we ask every guest. First question being, if you had to choose one spice to describe yourself,
One spice.
One spice.
what would it be and why?
Man, I'm just gonna go with sweet Thai chili. That's my favorite. That's my go-to clutch.
That's a different one. That's a different one.
Yeah, that's sweet Thai chili. That's my. I don't know, man. I was gonna say jerk because I was born in Jamaica, but I mean, you probably guys probably got that like 1,000 times. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with sweet Thai chili, man.
Yeah, that's unique. That's unique.
Yeah, it's different.
And the last question is, give us 3 music artists that you listen to that you feel everybody should listen to.
Ooh, that's that last part of that question. Okay, well, being that we're up here, I'm gonna say Drake.
Oh,
like you gotta pay homage. He helped put the city on the map, and I can give you context. When I was living stateside, I was living there before Drake was Drake, and I seen the difference in how they treated me as a Canadian, and it was completely different. I used to work, like I told you guys, I used to work at Apple, and they would make all these like hockey jokes and jokes, and then, and I would clap back too. I was like, I'd take out like my OHIP card, and I'm like, you guys know what this is? You'll never have it. You'll never have it. I'll let you hold that for a little bit. That feels like. So we used to have fun with it. It was all in good fun. But so Drake changed that everything, because when Drake came out, they were like, yo, Toronto, he helped really put us on the map over there. But Drake, I'd also say Jay-Z. I mean, Jay-Z's just that guy. He established his longevity. And then I'm gonna go with there's so many good ones, but I'm also a big J. Cole fan. Okay. So J. Cole would probably be my third, but there's really a lot of people that I could have chose, but I'm gonna go with those 3.
For sure, yeah, that's a good 3. But yeah, we want to thank you for taking your time on sitting with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
we'll leave your socials in the description box below.
And yeah, I've learned a lot.
So much from you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Awesome, man. Anytime, guys. Thanks for inviting me. Guys, check me out, Corey Kareem at Instagram. Check out the videos on YouTube, Corey Kareem as well. Thank you guys for having me, man. Peace and love.
All right, man.
All right, take care.
Take care.